Hello everyone, my name is Gourab Chattopadhyay and in this video I'm going to talk about a very famous writer, Rabindranath Tagore. Tagore is widely regarded as the inventor of modern Bengali short stories and is credited with introducing colloquial speech into Bengali literature. Tagore's short fiction is often set in rural Bengali villages and is peopled by characters from the underprivileged sectors of the society, reflecting Tagore's commitment to the social realism. The celebrated Indian film director Satyajit Ray has adopted several of Tagore's tales into his movies. Tagore was born on May 7, 1861 in Calcutta. It was the India which was under the British rule then. His father was a famous religious reformer, mystic and a scholar who was popularly referred to as the Maharishi or the Great Sage. From 1879 to 1880, Tagore attended the University College in London but returned to India before completing his studies. He published several volumes of poetry during the 1880s and throughout the 1890s, Tagore managed his family estates in rural Bengal. There, he encountered the villagers upon whom many of his characters are based, and many of his most renowned short stories were written during this period. In 1901, Tagore founded an experimental school combining Indian and Western thought and culture. This school became Vishwabharati University in 1921. During the first decade of this new century, Tagore suffered extensive personal tragedy as he endured the death of his wife, his father and 3 of his children. In 1913, he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature for his poetry collection Gitanjali. He spent the following years traveling throughout Europe, Asia and America to lecture and read from his works. Tagore was a supporter of the cause of the Indian national independence from Britain, although he publicly criticized some of Gandhi's ideas. However, like Gandhi, Tagore was also an active member in combating the Indian caste system. Throughout his life, Tagore was a prolific writer of novels, plays, popular songs and numerous works of non-fiction. While in his 70s, Tagore began painting and made a significant contribution to modern Indian art. Tagore died in 7th August 1941. Published in 1910, Gitanjali is Tagore's most popular work. The English edition, published in 1912, includes translations not only from the original Gitanjali but also from other collections. As light work to keep his mind occupied, Tagore did the translations himself while he was recovering from an illness at Shialda and on board a ship to Great Britain. He showed them to the British friends who wanted to read his work, and they in turn showed the translation to William Butler Yeats and the result was an English publication followed by 1913 Nobel Prize in Literature. Aware of the undistinguished quality of his translations, Tagore himself could never understand why he was rash enough to do them or why they created such a sensation. Gitanjali explores the personal relationship between the poet and divinity. The divinity he calls Jivan Devta, which he often translates as the Lord of my life or the life of my life, but also refers to as my God, King, Father, Mother, Lover, Friend, and the Innermost One. The range of terms here suggests that varied associations of Jivan Devta and also the conventional metaphors Tagore generally uses to develop his relationship with Jivan Devta. Tagore speaks of the deity as a lover with whom he longs to be united. In Song 60, Tagore varies the formula somewhat. He describes a woman who dwells in a parda within his heart. Many men have come asking for her, but none has seen her face because she waits only for God. The woman represents the spark of divinity in Tagore, which longs to be reunited with its source, and the parda suggests its loneliness and purity. The divinity within inspires Tagore's songs and motivates him to lead a pure life. But he confesses that involvement in commonplace events sometimes creates a smoke screen that obscures the divinity within and without. The commonplace, however, also has its divinity. God is to be found not only in the temples but also with the workers in the fields, because divinity runs through everything. Even the metaphor that Tagore uses to describe God have an element of literal truth. The most interesting poem in Gitanjali's song offerings are a group of dealings with death. Song 86 and 87 are about a family member, probably the poet's wife, whom death has taken. Although heartbroken by her death, Tagore welcomes the visit of God's servant and messenger, and seeking her in the oneness of the universe has brought Tagore closer to God. Tagore welcomes his own death as the fulfillment of life. His dying will be like a bride meeting her bridegroom on the wedding night, or like a feeding babe switching from the right breast to the left breast of its mother. Early reviewers in English received Tagore's stories with mixed appraisals. While some applauded his short fiction, others found them of negligible quality. Later critics have commented that these early reviewers were ignorant of the context of the Indian culture in which the stories are set. Commentators have praised Tagore for his blending of poetic lyricism with social realism, as well as the way in which his unearthly tales maintain the psychological realism within an atmosphere of supernatural occurrences. Scholars frequently praise Tagore's short stories for deeply human quality of the characters and relationships. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you had a great time. Thanks again.